Well, like I say, it's proper rock and roll, and that's what we love.
Right on. You know what? When you started going on, first started, I didn't realize you got cut off. I thought you were done. It's like, well, that's pretty short for you, Mike. That's what you like, said hello. I was like, oh, okay, you're not done.
No, yeah, I don't know. It just went kind of silent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I was listening, and then it was just kind of like, well, that's really short for Mike. I mean,
shortest review ever.
Yeah, and not that's a problem. Just like he's like, okay, oh, there we go. There you have it.
It was kind of, I don't know what it was. It was kind of like a sort of glitch noise, almost like a beat noise. I thought, oh shit, I've been cut off halfway through. And then I said hello, and you were still there. So maybe I hadn't even been cut off. I don't know. I was ready to go.
It's oh man, it's just like today. Like I'm in the car, and there's like a huge glare, so I can't see what time it is. So I asked her, "I said, Siri, what time it is?" And she goes, "At the tone, it'll be 1:29. Tone." It's like, oh, funny. But I mean, it was. But again, like, of course, that's probably something if you ask it enough times that she'll eventually say it again, sort of thing. But it's always funny. But the best ones she never repeats. You never get it again. It's like, oh, like why would you say it when someone else is around? You know, like when I told you about just like it doesn't matter how many years ago it was, but I was listening to what's his name? He's a Canadian DJ. It's something else I can't remember. Anyways, point being is he has a song called "Hi Friend," and so I'm driving the car and I say, "Siri, play Hi Friend." She goes, "I'm not just your friend. I'm your BFF." I was like, I start laughing. It's like, why is no one around to hear that? So
that's serious. Those guys must have so much fun.
Oh yeah, I bet.
About making up those things. But...
And when we're just going on a little sidetrack here, just because I think, like I've said, and I know you watching it too. Arrested Development. I've been watching it with my partner on the overnights at work, and
nice.
She's been getting into it because we're into season. I mean, I've seen it before, but she hasn't. So we're in season 2 right now. But you know, I point out, and she's enjoying it. It's funny, right? But she's also enjoying it because now she's making the connections between Jessica Walter and Mallory Archer, you know, and with Judy Greer and Charlene Cheryl, whatever her name may be, you know, like who's Kitty the receptionist, and then of course there's Jeffrey Tambor, who's the father, who was Len Trexler and that sort of thing. It was and Tobias, right?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, man.
I never made the connection.
Yeah, Jeffrey Tambor is Len Trexler.
Oh, of course he is. Oh, there's a bit of a light bulb moment there. I'm normally quite good I'm rubbish at faces. I'm normally quite good with voices, but do you know, there's something familiar about him. I can work out what it was, and now I know exactly what it is.
Well, even Tobias. I can't remember Tobias' real name, but he did the lawyer in season 7. He did.
Did he?
Yeah, and he was also part of when he kind of went off the radar and ended up on the pirate island. He was the guy who was like. A slave pirate.
Right. Okay.
And he did the voice of that one too. So yeah, he's done a few as well. Most of the characters, except for let's say Portia de Rossi, Michael Cera, and the girl who plays Maybe, pretty much. Even I think no, maybe not Jason Arnett, but most of them did a voice or does a voice on Archer.
Oh really? Oh, that's really cool.
So I think that's
proper cool, actually.
Yeah. So I think
I recognised a couple of them, and obviously, like you made the connection between Mallory and whatever her name is. But it was Arrested Development. I got really into actually. It's one that since you got me into Archer and then started talking about Arrested Development, I was like, oh, I must check that out. Well, and I kind of binged on it for a little while.
Well, the characters are so similar, though, right? And that's what makes it so funny, because Jessica Walter's character, Lucille Bluth, is a lot like Mallory Archer with the drinking and the snide remarks, and you know.
Yeah, it's really, really brilliantly done actually, because you're right, they're so similar, and the dynamic works so well. And then they just put two completely different situations together to make those characters work. Is it the same writers, or is it just?
No.
Oh right.
No, Adam Reed is Archer, and something Horowitz, I believe, is Arrested Development.
Nice. But yeah, no, it's really, really good. In fact, the only reason I've stopped binging on it is because I discovered that Luther is on Netflix, and I've never seen that. People keep going on about it, and that is actually really good. So I've been watching a few of them. But the problem is, Luther's like an hour long,
right?
Whereas Arrested Development and Archer, that's like
half
20
hour.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
You watch like loads of them. Whereas Luther, you watch a few and then you realise it's 3 in the morning. Or you do what I did the other night, and you go out drinking. And then you come back and decide it's a good idea to watch Luther, and then you wake up at 10 to 6 on the sofa.
Yeah.
That was
Oh.
And then you have to spend the next evening flicking through all the episodes to try and work out which ones it carried on playing while you were sleeping. That was a fun evening. Anyway, I've completely sidetracked once again. But yeah, Arrested Development is awesome, man. It's proper good.
Yeah, oh no, it's fine. I mean, that's what happens on the show, right? So next up is one we didn't get to last week, but I got to with B, and this is a new one by the Nigel I think it's Pure Chill Trio, and they're part of Erdington Sound, so that's what the Twitter handle is. So here we go with Human Destruction. Dig this.
Far away, pathogens will mutate, immune to every drug. One by one, pick this up, people along, nature's one, fear becomes a norm. It's human destruction. This is the moment when we have all realized it's us and the damage done. Overused our medicines. Our time has come. The human destruction. First watches the third will die. Leaders will decide. Should we sacrifice them all to save our selfish selves? Human destruction, moral dysfunction. Look at the pictures of corpses in the supplements on networks worldwide.
Okay, so that was a Nigel Putro Trio, part of the Erdington Sound. That was Human Destruction, and that was a cool one. And it's just they actually, vocally actually kind of sounded like Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. A really cool song. I really enjoyed this one. I've heard it a few times, but it's a decent song.
That's quality, Gene. My exact tweet that I just put out, literally as the song ended, it describes exactly how I feel. I feel that if David Bowie had done a collaboration with the Sisters of Mercy, they both would have been disappointed that it didn't sound as good as these guys. That's how it's got that whole thing about it, but almost like they could only be the ones that could pull it off. Do you know what I mean? I keep calling them Erdington Sound, but it's the Nigel Purcell is it trio?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Purcell, yeah.
Whatever it is, only these guys could pull it off. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of got something about it where it's completely unique, but also takes these influences from these great people and great bands. But yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. I love that kind of old school rock and roll kind of guitar riff. That properly does something for me. It's got real innocence, but also real grit about it. It's kind of the sort of stuff that the Bronsons do and bands like that. It's that proper garage rock and roll. Almost going back to you can imagine Buddy Holly doing that on a clean Fender, just added loads of dirt to it, right? Yeah, it's cool. I love stuff like that. I think it's a really, really cool tune.
Right on. So next up, and we're doing pretty good for time. Not going to jinx us, but next up we have another.
Quick, let's talk.
Yeah, right.
Let's delay.
We have,
Sorry,
I know we have another new one by Ill Advised, and this is off his new album Masochist, and he'll be setting us out the tape and the vinyl thing when it comes out when it's ready. But that's gonna be super cool. But we've interviewed Harry a few times, and the album is just something else. Like very conceptual, like probably one of the best conceptual albums I've heard in years. But it's a great album, great song. So do this. This is Ill Advised with Sleep.
I'm lying awake, trying to fall asleep, looking for something that smells of who you used to be. In the arms of sleep, she eludes me this ache. What will never be, false longing for revelry. I keep wishing you were here, all these years without you. Made it harder to wake up from the daydream previews. My eyes can see clear, old skies still late. Sad voices drawn near, she drowns me in my falling like the dead on a coffin flower bed, tracing each other's skin, tasting each other's sin, staring at the sight, fireworks light up the night. She sees it in her head, waits for him but he's not there. Instead, I keep wishing you were here, all these years without you. Made it harder to wake up from the daydream previews. My eyes can see clear, old skies still late. Sad voices draw near, she drowns me in my sleep. Keep wishing you were here, all these years without you. Made it harder to wake up from the daydream previews. My eyes can see clear, old skies still late. Sad voices draw near, she drowns me in my sleep. Drowns me in my sleep. Drowns me in my sleep.
Ill Advised with Sleep. What a great tune. And you know what? I love his vocals, and I think this was one of the ones he put up online live from one of his shows in New York. But it's a great tune to me. Like I said, the whole album is amazing. This is such a great conceptual album, and he's done he's done wonders with the album. I mean, it's super impressive, man. If you, from Parkway Divide to this one, drastic change, but man, did he ever nail it. Great tune, love it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. He's absolutely smashed it. It's just it's such a good album. And, you know, we talk a lot about how good the album is, and that is frankly because it really is that good. Do you know what I mean? It's just there aren't enough good things to say about it. It's got just it takes you on this journey, and it's got bits of punk rock and bits of hard rock and heavy rock and an industrial thing and almost an electronic